Hey guys, what's up? So I'm just back to give you an update on Gizzy Poo, aka Gizmo. So, bad news. Gizmo died. Gizmo did not make it. Gizmo died last Saturday around 8 p.m. So I'm all about timeline, so let's give the backstory. I got Gizmo on October 25th. When I got him, he was full of energy, hopping around, running around, doing what puppies do. The day I got him, now I'm giving the backstories just so you could form your own opinions and stuff like that, especially those of you who have dogs. Maybe you could figure out what may have happened. I don't know. So when I got him, I didn't go straight home. I brought him to my daughter's aunt's house because that's where my daughter was at for the weekend. When I brought him over there, I made sure to have, some water for him. I carried his bowls. I had a bag of food, dry dog food. So when we got to her aunt's house, I laid everything out, poured some water in a bowl, not tap water. I gave him like Poland spring water. And then I put his, dry dog food in the bowl too. We were there for a few hours only. And, he was peeing and stuff like that. Not potty trained yet, so of course he kind of tinkled everywhere here and there. He only made it to the pad one time. And then when I turned around one time while I was there, I noticed that he pooed on the couch. Now, fast forward, I realized that it wasn't poo. It was vomit. But me being a new dog owner that very day, I thought it was poo. But looking back at it again, it didn't smell like poo. Like, it didn't really have a smell. I'm pretty sure it had a smell if I had put my nose, there up on it, but I wasn't gonna do that. Right? So as we were leaving, getting in the car, on the way home, my daughter had Gizmo in his pouch, but the pouch was on her lap. She was sitting in the front with me. Like 15 minutes into the ride, she's like, ugh, he just doodled on me. So I'm looking at it, I see it on her leg, and I'm like, okay. But then she made a point. She was like, but I don't understand, his butt is in the inside. At this time, we're still thinking it's poop. From the time that we were at her aunt's house to the time we were in the car, when he supposedly pooed twice, we thought it was just poo. But like I said, fast forward, looking back at it, it was not poo. It was throw up. Follow the story so you can have an opinion. Alright. So, October 25th was on a Sunday. Right? Like I said, he ate that day. And drank. Monday, mind you, he's a puppy. Monday, he didn't seem receptive to the food. He basically was like picking at it. He would eat it, but it was like, a little piece here, a little piece there. And I will say that how that day I did bring him outside downstairs just to, see if he could use the bathroom. He didn't use the bathroom. He wasn't down there for long, maybe like a few minutes. Well, no, my daughter brought him downstairs. And he didn't use the bathroom for a few minutes. Okay. Tuesday, now we're at October 27th. Tuesday, he got sick. Meaning throwing up, loose stool. What else he had? He was throwing up, he had loose stool, and he was lethargic. Just like, kind of like, really out of it. So I'm sitting here like, what the heck? I just got this dog. Like, how is he sick? As a mother, I knew that something was wrong, but I just couldn't figure it out. So, I reached out to the breeder. I texted her to say, hey, Gizmo's not feeling well. and she texted me back saying he may be hypoglycemic, so give him this. She sent me what it was, something called Nutravite. So I looked it up, Googled it and everything, and I found it online, but apparently you can only buy it online. I don't know if it's just my area, but what I was coming up with was I can't go, just go to the store and buy it. So what I did was I tried to find like a substitute. It does the same thing, but just something of a different name. So I went to the store the next day, and for those of you who don't know, Nutravite is basically like a supplement for dogs. If they're having trouble eating, it's like a supplement. It's kind of like Ensure, like how us humans can drink Ensure as a supplement. So that's what that is. It's a high calorie diet, so to speak, and it has like a pasty substance. They call it gel, but paste, gel, same difference. I don't know. So my fiance scheduled an appointment for him for the next day because I had trouble finding something that was like close by. So he found something from the same hospital. I took him to Banfield Hospital, but he found a location further out, which I hated to do that drive, but I had to do it. Banfield Hospital is located inside of PetSmarts. I don't know if every PetSmart has one, but the ones that we saw there. So the next day, which is the day of his appointment, I went to the PetSmart that's close to me. He didn't have an appointment there because they didn't have any appointments, but I was still able to go up in there. I went to PetSmart and I bought the high calorie gel. Expensive. Paid like $14 for it. $14. It comes in like a little tube. It's not that small, but like a tube. And since I was there, I said, you know what? I noticed that there was somebody in the back where the hospital's at, and I was confused. I was like, I thought that there's no appointment. So, but come to find out, they did have a dog back there that was, I guess, I don't know if he was getting surgery or whatever, but he was under some type of he was being sedated for whatever reason. But there was somebody in the front. So I said, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Well, can I tell you something? I was talking to this lady about my dog, and I showed her the paperwork that the breeder gave me. I'm still trying to figure out what's wrong with the dog. Or whatever, I don't know. And based on the paperwork I gave her, she told me that how this dog has had fleas already. This puppy has had fleas and tapeworm. And I was like, what? I'm like, he was just born like a couple months ago, and he got all that already. Mind you, I don't know shit about dogs, so bear with me if you feel like I'm like not knowledgeable. I'm learning. So fast forward, took him to the doctor Wednesday, the same day. His appointment was later on the day, so I took him to the doctor at 3:30. His diagnosis was low blood sugar, so he was hypoglycemic, and he had parasites. The parasites were called he was diagnosed he was diagnosed with coccidiosis. So he had coccidia. That's what the parasites are called, coccidia, I think. Yeah, coccidia. This dog got sick, y'all, 2 days after I got him. Right? This is a long story. I gotta make this jump brief. I don't want to drag this out. So he had got coccidia. They gave him medication called Albon, Albon. Okay, so I gave it to him that evening because we didn't get home till like 6. Mind you, I had to drive like a good 40-something minutes to get there. So the next day, Thursday, October 20, what day is it now? Sunday is the 25th, Monday 26th, Tuesday 27th. Wednesday, the day of the appointment, was October 28th. October 29th, he was all better. He was back to himself. I walked to the crate. He was jumping around. He was, happy. I'm like, okay, cool. Back to normal, right? Yay. October 30th, he had a follow-up, so I had to drive all the way back to the same location that he had his appointment. So we did the follow-up. Everything was all good, you know. But the only problem with him was that he still wasn't eating. Like, solids, you know. So, sorry. He wasn't eating still. Like, the only thing that he would eat is that high-calorie diet. That's the only thing that he would intake. And he was still drinking water. I gave him Pedialyte because I did call the vet that the breeder was taking him to. And that vet suggested Pedialyte. He also had suggested chicken and rice, but that did not work. He did not want the chicken and rice. I mean, well, I didn't actually give him chicken and rice. I tried to give him rice, but he wasn't taking that. So like I said, you know, here we are, October 30th. He's only eating that high-calorie diet thing. So fast forward to the next week. So now we're in November. So let's see. Let me get my dates together. Was Veterans Day on Wednesday? Yes, it was, I believe, on the 3rd. I'm trying to get my dates together while I tell this story. So November, no, that was on the, what's today? November 2nd. No, wait, hold up, look. I don't even know. November 3rd. Yeah, November 3rd. I think he was pretty much done with this high calorie diet because he was licking this thing for like 7 days straight. So November 3rd, Gizmo decides, I don't want this shit no more. So he decides he doesn't want it no more. So he basically was turning his head like he don't want that. I said, okay, well, what am I going to give him? Because he's not eating this now. And that was like my savior right there. Like, okay, something, you know, to still get that, you know, calorie intake. He stopped eating that. He wasn't eating dry foods. I even had wet foods for dogs. He still wouldn't eat that. So I basically scrambled him some eggs because I googled that you can give dog eggs because it's, you know, good protein, you know, it's healthy for them, whatever, you know. And plus I have a friend who has a puppy also. He's not a Yorkie. She's not a Yorkie. She's a Pomeranian, really cute dog. But she said that her dog was eating eggs because the breeder was giving that dog eggs. I mean, I know it's different dogs, but I don't know. I just thought it would have been okay. And plus online it said it was okay. Well, for dogs. It didn't specify like age range, but I don't know. I just thought that overall it wouldn't matter. So I gave him the damn eggs. No salt, no pepper. He was so happy. I put it to his nose and he was ecstatic. Like he grabbed a piece, keyword a piece, and like kind of ran off with it and sat down, was eating it. He had a small piece, guys. Small piece. And so he was happy. I was happy. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, okay, he's eating something. Because he wasn't going to eat no more of that other stuff. Fast forward. The next day. I felt like I was living in the same nightmare I was the week prior. Clarity. The next day comes. He's back to the same crap, y'all. He was like, it was like dog down. Man down, dog down. All over again. He is like lethargic. He don't want to eat nothing. The only thing he would do is just drink. And I feel like my quality's messed up. I don't know what's going on. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is happening again. What the hell? I'm like, is he really getting sick because of egg? He had like a small piece. Eggs? I'm like, okay, it can't be the coccidiosis because we got the medication and he's been taking it for 7 days. Like they said, take it for 14 days. I'm giving it to him every day around the same time, like clockwork. So I'm like, shoot. Now, okay, so that's the 3rd, November 3rd. So he got sick Tuesday. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday, y'all? Oh my gosh, I'm getting my days mixed up. No, I think it was the 3rd he got sick. It may have been Wednesday. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so I think I'm right. I think it was on Tuesday, got sick Wednesday. Y'all forgive me. I'm getting my days mixed up. I think I gave him the eggs on Wednesday. And then, yeah. I may be a day off. Forgive me. So I'm just going to say Wednesday. So November 3rd, gave him the eggs. Boom. Then Thursday, he got sick. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thursday he got sick, man. Dog down all over again. And I'm like, here we go again, you know. But Friday is when it got worse. Friday he was like, it was like getting worse. Like, okay, you're sick Thursday. Okay, I see that you're not, you're back to being miserable, and you're whining every time I pick you up. But Friday was like the ultimate plunge, y'all, cause now he wouldn't eat nothing. I had to force feed him, and that's not good. When you gotta force feed when someone's sick, that's not a good thing. Or something is sick. It was so bad I had to feed him through a syringe. Like, I was like, come on. At that point, I had to go to the store. I bought chicken and sweet potato because I heard that they could eat that too. He was not eating that, y'all. I had to feed him. It got back to the point where I had to force feed him, and then I had to force him to even drink. Like, I had to feed him through a syringe. I had to feed him Pedialyte through a syringe also. Like, he was that sickly. And also, not to mention, he woke up Friday with, and to this day I still don't know why he had this. He had like a thick white, right here at the brim of your eye, right here at the brim, a thick white cloud of discharge. It was so thick, it was just white, just sitting there. And I was just, when I saw that, I was like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, dog, what is going on with you? But it was only on this side of the eye. Later on in the day, it started to come on this side of the eye, so now he had both. But it wasn't as bad on this side. Throughout the whole day, I had to keep like cleaning his eye, because you can't have all that discharge just sitting there, because it got so bad to the point where his eyes was like almost shut. That right eye that was like the worst, it was almost shut. I had to keep like getting like a wet paper towel, warm, and like trying to massage it out. It was so disgusting. And then later on that day, if not the next day, it started to get like kind of green in the inside, like green discharge. It was more white than green, but still, like, green, signs of green mucus is not good. It's not good at all. So actually, no, Friday, no, I'm getting my days mixed up. Friday, I did not give him a syringe as far as feeding. That was on Saturday, the day he died. So Friday, I was still doing the paste. I had to still give him the pasting. He was licking it. He was so Thursday and Friday, even though he was sick, he was still sopping that damn paste up, that gel up, that high calorie diet gel. So I'm fast forward. Saturday, the day he died, that's when I had to feed him through a syringe. That's when I'm like, okay, like I said, when you have to force feed somebody, that's really, really, really not good. Yeah. And what I noticed too on Saturday, the day that he died, he didn't pee all day. Cause Gizmo used to piss, man. That dog would pee like 12 times a day. But Saturday, he didn't pee at all. And also Saturday, I noticed that he was limp. Because normally when I pick him up, you could feel like his weight. He wasn't a heavy dog, of course, because he was only 2 pounds and some ounces. But you could feel like a little, like a little weight here and there. Man, please. When Saturday came, it was like holding a freaking lifeless body. But he was still awake. You know what I'm saying? And what kept me like kind of content with, for the Thursday and Friday and Saturday that he was alive, was every time I would check on him to look in his crate, he would have one eye open. He'd be looking at me like, I can't move, but I can see you. So I was like, okay, cool. Hang on, Gizmo. I did book an appointment for Monday, keep in mind. Because for some reason, I think it's because of COVID-19, it's not easy. I don't know about anywhere else in any other states or any other cities, but for a few cities here in Georgia, it's not easy to get your dog into the vet like anytime. Like, these doctors are not available. Like, you have to search for dates, and some locations don't even have any dates at all. So it's just like, what the hell? What are you guys doing with these sick dogs? Like, that's coming in, sick animals, cats, dogs, whatever. So I had booked his on Saturday, to be exact. I had no clue he was gonna die Saturday. I was still hanging on to hope. So that Saturday, I think afternoon or something like that. I think actually no, Saturday evening, like around 4ish, 5ish. I had finally figured out how to book his appointment somewhere. I was trying to figure it out because I knew he wasn't getting better. So I booked an appointment like around 5 or 6 or something like that Saturday evening. And like I said, he didn't pee all day. So I'm just like, I'm just sitting here trying to figure it out. Like, okay, something is not right. I mean, obviously come on now. Like, you're not eating, you're not peeing. Like, what the heck, Do something besides get sick on me. So I went to go take a shower. When I came back, I took a shower like around 7-ish. When I came back to that crate by like 8:10, Gizmo was gone, y'all. Oh yes, let me rewind. Before I went to go take a shower, I noticed that he pooed, and that probably was his last stool. But at first I didn't know it was poo. I don't know. I didn't know what to think it was. I was just like, what? But obviously, looking back, of course, it was poo, but it was like it was black. It was like it had that tarish look to it, and it smelled so bad. Oh my gosh, so bad. So yeah, back to fast forwarding. So I took a shower, came back around 8:10-ish, looked at him, and I was just like, I'm looking at his eye because that's the first contact that me and him made during this whole sickness. I looked at him, and his eye was black. It was like death. Like, he was not even looking at me. It was just like straight ahead, like wide open, black. And then another sign that you could tell that a dog is gone is their mouth is open. His mouth was wide open, tongue to the side. And I was like, fuck no. I picked him up, and it was like dead weight, but light version, not heavy version. It was just like, he was just limp. It was just like limp. And then let me see what else. So I put him back. Also when I picked him up, another sign that he's gone is that he released all the urine that he did not let out that day. It all came out in the end. Like, all the urine, he was in a pool of urine just sitting there. So I put him back down because I'm like, okay, I've never had a dead dog before in my around me. So I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So I go back to that table. I'm sitting there trying to figure out what to do. I texted the breeder, because up until this point, I'm sitting here thinking it's her fault, because I'm like, this dog was sick, I didn't want to call her because it was, at this point, it's 8:30, and I'm like, it's dark outside, because, it's fall now, so around this time, it's dark. And even though it was dark, I still felt it was, okay to text, because, I mean, it was late, but it wasn't, like, that late, you know what I'm saying? But I for sure wasn't going to call her, because it was dark. But I texted her just to say, hey, Gizmo has passed. I don't know what to do. What should I do? Like, what do I do with a deceased dog? I got no response back. No response back. So I'm over here calling my my friend, not girlfriend, but homegirl, because I know she has a Yorkie too, and I'm like, girl, da 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 da. And she was like, she called her boyfriend, and her boyfriend said, you got to put him in the fridge because, he's gonna start to break down. But by the time we was talking, it was like around after 9 o'clock or something like that. And, because of COVID-19, Walmart doesn't stay open 24 hours. It closes at 10. So there was nothing I could do. I couldn't go to the store and get no cooler. So I basically put him in a garbage bag. But at this time, when I get up to go grab him again to put him in a garbage bag, yo, rigor mortis set in so freaking fast. This dog was already stiff as a board, honey. His legs was just straight out like this, because remember, when I first went over there to pick him up, and I realized he was gone, he was limp. Actually, I went to him 3 times. First to pick him up, so he was limp. Then the second time, I went over there, I touched him, because you want to make sure that you're not tripping. I touched his body, it was getting cold, it wasn't warm no more. Then that third time when I went to go pick him up to put him in the garbage bag, like I said, stiff. Like, I was like, damn, what the hell? So I put him in the garbage bag, and then I tied it, and then I put him in another bag, a yellow bag with handles, and I just had to put him on the deck overnight because, like, what am I gonna do? I can't keep him in the house. I don't want to smell that whatever. So I put him on the deck. The temperature was fine. It wasn't hot for sure. It wasn't cold. Temperature was around 65 degrees, but with breeze. So yeah, I left him there overnight. When I woke up the next day, I went to Walmart around 10 o'clock in the morning. I know it was kind of over 12 hours, but went to Walmart around 10 o'clock. Then I put him in, I got the cooler. I put ice at the bottom, put him in the middle, put ice on the top. But before I did all that, I did call the breeder. No, I called the breeder after I put him on ice, because mind you, she still has not returned my call or my text. I'm like, so when I called her, she didn't answer her phone. One of her kids answered the phone, and I was like, hello, and they were like, mommy, not me, not to me, but like to their mom. And then she's like, who is it? Who is it? So that she finally gets on the phone, and she's still quiet. I'm like, hello, and she was like, hello. I'm like, yeah, Trish, hey, it's me, Nakia. I said, I texted you last night, Gizmo passed. And she was like, yeah. Basically, she did not seem concerned, empathetic, sympathetic. There was like no type of concern at all. It was just like, okay. So, and then she was, I can't sit here and tell you the whole conversation verbatim, but it just, all I could say for the most part, it just seemed like she didn't care for the most part, you know? Is this thing dying? Hold on, y'all. I think that's why yep, this thing is dying. Oh, that's useless. Let me put the light on. Hold on a second. So she didn't seem empathetic at all to my situation. I just couldn't understand, because that night that he passed, I called my mother, I told my fiance, I told my friend, everybody that I could think of that I called. They were like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? When something happens that's tragic, I mean, anybody with freaking compassion is going to be like, oh my gosh, you know? They're not going to be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? If the lighting is off, I apologize. Let me turn this way. This is better. Oh, this is much better. Close this door. I don't need you no more because you're dying. Oh, what is up with this? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get it together. I know that the clarity is not good. Well, should I put you back? Because now you... okay, I'm going to leave that for now. Hopefully you can see me. Can you see me? Can you see me? Not really. Ooh, hope this is not going to be horrible when I do the playback. But anyway, I know it's not about me. Ooh, this is bad. Oh, much better. Alright, it's going in and out. I don't know why. When I sit it up. Maybe I should lay down. Okay, let's try this. Oh my gosh, guys. So, yeah, so the only thing I could remember her saying is stuff like, oh, well, I took him to 2 vets before I gave him to you, and I'm going to have to get a necropsy done on him, which is fine because I wanted to do that anyway, because I wanted to find out what the heck happened to him, why he really passed away, because I was confused. I was like, well, damn, is it because of the eggs? Like, did he get sick because I give him eggs, or did he get sick because he was never actually better from the first diagnosis? And she was like, well, how far do you live again? She was like, just bring him to me. I'll take him to such and such doctor. And yeah, so that's when I said, let me go check my contract because something doesn't feel right. So I was looking at the contract, and basically, long story short, with the contract situation is I felt she breached it because, there's so many times in the contract she, insures and guarantees, for a healthy puppy. And I felt like that wasn't the truth because initially the puppy was sick. Because like I said, he threw up the first day. It's kind of hard to really say. Because at first I thought she breached it, but it's like now I'm looking back, it's really hard to say. And this is why she and I both really wanted to get that necropsy done. Because I did tell her that how I brought him outside for just a few minutes the second day I got him. And she was like, oh, well, you shouldn't have brought him outside. But here's the thing, though. When she gave him to me, she didn't give me a list as to the do's and don'ts. Like, I feel like if you're a breeder and you know that someone is not used to puppies, like, you should give them a list. Like, tell them, like, what to do and not to do. She sells so many puppies. It's like everybody should get a list. So that was like the biggest issue for me, like towards the end, because I felt like at this point I can't sit here and talk about the dog anymore. He's dead. He's not coming back. So my last issue was just the whole contract thing, because in the contract, in one paragraph she's stressing, oh, guaranteed healthy dog, parents are healthy. But then on the back of the contract, it's saying, well, I'm sorry, on the front of the contract, she guarantees and insures a healthy puppy. And then also mentions that, if the puppy falls ill because of hereditary issues or cog shit congenital, excuse me, then she can take the dog back and give you a new puppy and all that type of stuff. And then on the other paragraph, it says that how if the puppy has hypoglycemia or coccidiosis, I'll check it in a minute. Just leave it.
Yeah, on your phone?
No, it's the same phone. I'm going tomorrow to the store to get it fixed. She says in the other paragraph, if the dog has hypoglycemia, coccidiosis, giardia, and some other stuff, then that's when there is no exchange. It is what it is. So, like I said, in the beginning when he got sick, I thought like, shoot, this contract is rigged because you gave me a sick dog. So,
can't wait to dye my hair one day. This year.
Child, my kid. Mm-hmm. Bye. Bye. See, lost train of thought. It's gonna come back to me. So, yeah. So I gave her back the dog. There's another story behind that. Like, it wasn't that simple. She wasn't even there to for me to give her back the dog. She pretty much like bounced on me. Like, I told her I was gonna come around 1, right? And then I got tied up because I was making a phone call real quick to find out something. So I was running behind time. So I said, okay, I texted her while I was on the call saying, hey, can I come to you? I'm sorry, no, I told her, I said how I'm going to be late, but I'm still coming. And she goes, well, how long? I said, like 2. She was like, no, she said, I'm sorry if I'm bouncing around. My train of thought is scattered. She was like, well, how long? Because my sister Becky, she said my sister Becky has to go back to Kentucky, and she got to go feed. We got to go feed our horses or horse at our other property. So I'm sitting here saying to myself, what the? I'm telling this lady I have a dead dog, and I'm trying to get things situated, and all she's talking about is her goddamn property and her damn horses. I was pissed about that. Everything is fine now between me and her, but if you knew the dialogue from start to finish verbatim, you would too think that, okay, there's a lack of concern here. So I am kind of leaving out some stuff, but just know that the stuff that I'm leaving out it just seemed like she had like a lack of concern throughout the whole thing. So I was like, whatever. So she told me to drop it off at her so-called brother. So I dropped it off, and I dropped it off Sunday. So what date was Sunday? I said the dog, sorry. Same difference, right? I dropped off Gizmo to her house on Sunday, last Sunday. So that was November 7th, right? And she told me, I told her, I said, since you're going to take him to get necropsy, can you like keep me posted? She's like, sure, I will. And she told me she's going to take him Monday, which is November 8th. I'm sorry, I'm getting my dates messed up. Sunday was November 8th, sorry. November 8th is when I dropped him off to her. She said she was going to take him for a necropsy the next day, November 9th, to such and such doctor or such and such doctor, depending on availability. So, of course, when Monday comes, I'm texting her like, hey, so where did you take him to? Because you said either this doctor or that doctor. I get no response. You see how I feel right now with these no responses or these short responses? So Tuesday comes, November 10th, and she sends me a random text message around 2:39 to say that how Dr. So-and-so, which is another doctor, which is not one of the doctors that she mentioned, Dr. So-and-so says that how he can't perform because the dog is not well preserved. So me now I'm sitting here like, well, what the hell? Like, did she take him to the doctor today, 2 days after I gave him to her? Whatever. So anyway, to the point that she just left it at that. She said what she said, and that was it. So, and my mom's sitting here like, okay, well, how you gonna just text me and say that how the necropsy couldn't be performed, and then you just end the conversation? Like, there should be further discussion here. Like, I spent money. I didn't say all that to her because I wanted to make sure when I approached her, it was gonna be like, professional. Because I'm not gonna treat her how she was treating me. I just felt like she was not really professional. So I had one of my friends draw up this like professional letter. And I added way more to it because I felt like, it should be more stuff added to it. And I went ahead and I printed out all my receipts of everything I bought for that dog, because I was gonna get my damn money back at this point. Because I'm like, because I felt like she left the situation as is. Like, come on now, I spent mad money. I spent over 3 grand. I know it sounds crazy. I'm a new puppy owner. Looking back at it, I probably should have went to the damn pound to get a dog. Looking back, yes, I should have went to the pound. I should have adopted a dog. I mean, I don't know, but then again, when you adopt a dog, it's kind of hard to get what you want, unless you just don't care what kind of dog it is. Like, I wanted a certain type of dog, so if I was to walk into a pound right now, what's the chances of me finding a puppy Yorkie? You feel me? So it may not be that great, you know. So yeah. So man, I had a crap load of receipts of stuff that I bought for that dog. So guess what? I went ahead and I emailed and texted her the same thing. When I tell you, once I hit that send button, she hit me up so fast. I'm like, well, hi. Well, damn, where you been at? Because I've been trying to talk to you and you just ducking and dodging all over the damn place. She responded so fast. It was so crazy. Like, talking about some, no, I haven't. Because I told her that I felt like she was, like, abandoning the situation, basically. So she was like, no, I haven't. I just been really busy. Then she sends me this long behind text, which I didn't even get a chance to read because she called me right after. Sounded like a brand new person. When I tell you she sounded so different from the time before. That day that I called her to say, hey, I texted you to tell you that Gizmo died, and she was on some, yeah. Well, that day, well, not that day, but the day that she actually called me after I sent her that damn long ass text and all those damn proofs, of me making payments for this and that and the third. She sounded so different, y'all. She was like, hey, Nikki. Yeah, like she sounded so different. She sounded happy and enthusiastic. She finally gave an apology for only being, so busy, basically. She gave me different vibes, y'all. It was so different. Cause I think she knew what time it was when I gave her all those receipts. Like, you about to get a whole lawsuit on your ass if you don't respond to me. So I mean, nonetheless, I'm an easy person to deal with if you reciprocate that. It don't got to be that hard. Like, I've been reaching out to you, and you just kind of like been kind of being distant and not really caring. It seemed like, So yeah, long story short, it is short. Well, if that makes sense. Whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on to things. She agreed to give me another puppy, but she pulled the whole, I normally don't do this, because her contract, she says that she's not liable for a dog with coccidiosis, or hypoglycemia. And that's exactly what he had in the beginning. So she agreed to give me another puppy, and then she also told me that how next time, if something's wrong with him, just bring him to me. Had I known how sick he was, then I would have told you to bring him to me. It shouldn't matter. Here's the thing. People, I just said, she said that had she known how sick he was, she would have told me to bring him to her. But here's my thing. I told you he was sick, over a week ago. And you never even bothered to follow up with me to say, hey, how is Gizmo doing? You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I didn't hit you up is because I didn't know that he was going to take a turn for the worse. You know what I'm saying? Especially after I gave him the eggs. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know this stuff. And it's like, why should I have to tell you how sick he is? Like, had you called, then you would have known, Like, I felt like you didn't care. So why bother, telling you anything? Let me just deal with it on my own, pretty much, So, now she's a whole new person. Now she even called me the next day. So she called me that day to say, okay, I'll give you another puppy. Then she calls me the next day to say, hey, I have a Chihuahua available. Do you want one? Do you want it right now? I was like, no, I don't want the Chihuahua, but thank you. He's cute. But yeah. Anyway, that was a long story. Left a few bits and pieces out. Nothing major, but I just wanted you guys to get the gist of things, of how I felt. I felt like she wasn't showing any empathy or sympathy, didn't show any concerns. And in the end, once I hit her with the long message and receipts, that's when the whole vibe changed. Now she's at my service. How can I help you? But yeah, Gizmo's gone. I'm so sad. But yeah. But he was a fighter, man. He fought because he was hanging on to dear life. He really was. It was so sad because it was like you knew he was sick because every time I would pick him up, he would make these sounds like, and then as the days went by, when he got weaker, the sounds became lower, like lower, and the sounds got to the point where I didn't even have to hold him anymore for him to basically cry. I guess he was crying on his own. It was so sad. I mean, it got to me holding you and you in pain or crying, to me putting you down and you crying, to after a while there's no more sounds. He's gone. He's gone. So I should be getting the new puppy January, sometime in January. This focus is off. I don't know what's going on. The background look blurry. At least from my end, it looks like it. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I play this back or when you guys see it. But this focus is horrible. But yeah, I should be getting a new puppy it's back now in January, end of January. Cause I was told that how when you get a Yorkie, the breeder's supposed to wait like about 6 months before you get the dog to make sure that they're good, like strong enough. And I told her, I said, I heard that, usually 6 months is the best for the dog. And she was like, well, I can't keep him that long. She says that she can't keep dogs like that long. And I'm guessing, I think she's saying that because she know that they are hard to deal with. Because she even said herself that how when you have teacup Yorkies or just Yorkies period, like she says the word, they crash easily. They crash easily. So they get easily sick and stuff like that. So I will definitely give y'all an update when I get this new puppy, and I will show him to y'all. But yeah, that itty bitty puppy that I showed y'all like 2 weeks ago is no longer here. He is gone. But it's crazy because when I showed him to you guys then, he was sick then, but then he had got better. Well, I think I showed him to you guys after he got better. I don't know, but the point is, yeah, Gizmo is gone. All right, y'all. So if anybody has any tips on how to take care of a young puppy, let me know, because I'm gonna get another one, and I don't want the same thing to happen again, because I can't deal with that. Like, because if something else happens to the next puppy, I'm not gonna get no other dog. I'm just gonna take it as it's not meant for me to have a dog, and I don't know how to take care of them. But all right, y'all. So yeah, when I get the next one, I will let y'all know. All right. Thanks for listening to my story. Bye.